There's nothing more important that I could say. There's nothing more important than now. There's nothing more important that we could share but time. I am here. Are you here? Yes, I'm here. Because everything in me says Hineni. There's nothing more important than singing loud. There's nothing more important than love. There's nothing more important than being who we are. I am here. Are you here? Yes, I'm here. Because everything in me says Hineni. There's nothing more important than you and me. There's nothing more important to do. There's nothing more important than being here with you. Welcome to the Healing Moment Workshop. So nice to have you here with me and with others that are looking to find ways to engage families or people of all ages together in a healing moment, in a meaningful healing moment. I'm here to conceptualize and frame the practices that I will share with you from a perspective of starting with kavanah, with intentionality first, and having kiva, having the fixed in the back burner. So it's a combination of both in many ways, but what's going to lead this workshop and all the workshops that I am offering regarding family engagement and family high holidays online redesign have to do with prioritizing the intentionality of them, in prioritizing that. So let's start. I would like to first say a few things that helped me also in the process of putting this together. I am honored to be talking to people that are clergy, rabbis, educators. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to share with you that are obvious, that are things that you already know, but that will help us understand where I come from and where we can meet. So rituals have no value themselves, but they are tools. And because they are tools, they are so important. So a healing moment without a container, without an approach, without the people, without the symbols, without the practices is nothing, is a title. So it's very important that we focus on the why we're doing this. Why are we doing family gatherings? Why are we doing family healing moments? So let me tell you why I think these moments are so important. First of all, I think that families need spaces where they can talk about the things that are more challenging to talk about. Healing is not just healing from an illness. Healing could be healing from a wound that is emotional, that is spiritual. Uh, so the idea that we can offer families the opportunity to find a safe space, a calm space, a relaxed space, an intimate space for them to be healing, to be, even before healing, I would say, to be addressing, to be putting on the table the things that have hurt them or are hurting them as a family, as well as the things that are hurting others in the physical world, in the spiritual and emotional. It's very important. I think it's crucial because one of the things that we are finding is that it's really hard to have even a vocabulary, a social emotional vocabulary. And that when we are overwhelmed or when we don't know what's going on with us, that we feel under the weather or sad or physically ill, we don't have the language to talk about them. So we start storing them in places that, accumulate wounds and hurts, and they can become even invisible to us. So that when they shout, when they scream, when they get really, really deeply hurt and in pain, the scream can be overwhelming. So, if we can provide a space for families where they can talk about their feelings, their wounds, their hurts, and the world's, and if we can ask for help, if we can empower ourselves and our kids to know that not only knowing about somebody's illness is important, but knowing that we can contribute to the healing process and not in a magical way, but in a spiritual, tangible way. So we're going to combine both worlds, the spiritual world, the nonverbal communication, and all of that. Let's start with some practices that might help us understand better the philosophy behind them. So, as you have heard me say several times, if a healing is a moment, if we're going to create a healing moment, there is a before, there is an after, and of course, there is the present moment, the healing moment, which is very important. But without a before and after, the moment that we want to highlight vanishes. Moments are very brief, even when they take for hours to develop or to experience them. If they're not sustained by before and afters, they vanish. That's why the month of Elul is so important. And that's why even Sukkot, after the high holidays, and Simchat Torah are so important. Everything that happens in between is as important as it. So, just a few recommendations before we start. One is that the healing moment doesn't have to be a moment in itself, meaning you can add it, you can combine it, you can collage it with other moments. This healing moment could last as long as you think it's important for your community to have it. It could be a 10-minute, a 15-minute, a 30-minute. It could expand. It could be the source, the fountain of a much, much, much bigger experience and could last even for 45 minutes. It really depends on how you want to convey this space. Also, let's remind ourselves that we're talking in a moment where the online world is the tool, is the way we're communicating. Unfortunately, communities in this moment are gathering online. So timing has always been one of the most important aspects of any experience, but in this moment, even more. I'm hearing from experts in the engaging, in the engaging world online. I'm a part of a group, and they're saying that as we keep going into, as we enter into even more time into this isolation, this pandemic, the times online have to be shortened. If you have been doing something for 60 minutes in the past weeks or in the past months, as if you're going to do it again in the month of August or September, the times might need to be adjusted to Zoom exhaustion, to online exhaustion. So there's nothing wrong about you or the people. It's just that we are all at a time where our times in front of the screens need to be regulated and adjusted. So let's start. The first thing that I would like to talk about is the before the healing moment. And this before could be done in many ways, but I want to bring you one of them, one that has been very, very helpful for families, not just to enter the healing moment, but to enter a moment where we need to be listening to each one to one another. So let me share with you the talking stick tool. You might have heard that the Native Americans have been using a talking stick for centuries. Well, I want to invite you to invite your families to create their own talking stick. Yes, because if they have a talking stick that is the family's one, when you want to be heard, because you want to talk, you hold the talking stick and you pass it on. So we're inviting families to create their own talking sticks. And I want to share with you some pictures of how these talking sticks could look like. Let me look for a few pictures that I have. And that's my grandson. Whoops. They went up here, talking stick, I'm back. There you go. So talking sticks can be done in many ways, in many shapes and forms, and they can have the different elements that you want to include in them. It's basically a bamboo stick or a broomstick or any stick that you can find, a tree stick that fell off, a tree, of course. And then families can put, elements, supplies that resonate with them, from feathers, hamsas. You can see there many different tools. Let me share with you another picture. You're going to see my grandchild again. Hold on. I want to find it. I think it went to here. Is this the one? Okay. Here you can see also, this was during a retreat, a family retreat in person a few years ago, as you can notice. But as you can see, everybody in the family is doing their own talking stick. So this could be also very, very, very engaging for all generations. So we don't do one for the whole family. We do one for each. And then, depending on the different ceremonies or celebrations or events or experiences that we are holding together, we decide to use one's or the other one. So, uh, talking sticks are really important because they bring order to an experience and also empowers people to talk and to manage their time also, to see how long do I want to talk. I want to pass it to him, to her, to they. Talking sticks, it's a great resource for before. Another resource that I can share with you as for the moment of the before the healing moment has to do with the concept that healing is about putting together or wishing that people that are broken, that if we are broken for something and sad and can be put together, we have the power, the desire to bring well-being to them. So it's the idea of brokenness and wholeness. So families could also do a puzzle together. Take a big piece of paper, a huge cardboard. Uh, you can bring up as like bring your ideas to it and paint. Maybe paint in the whole cardboard a theme that they would like, an image that represents what they want to heal or one of the things that they would like to heal together. Like it could be the world, it could be their family, it could be the planet, it could be a person that they love and that it's sick. And then the idea is that we cut it together as a family. We cut the pieces, we create these pieces that will be assembled during the ceremony. So a puzzle, a talking stick for before. Let's talk now about the actual healing moment or ceremony. I've been talking to you a lot about this idea of a bonfire, of a circle. It's really important to invite families before the ceremony that is going to be in a collective way comes by or starts, that they prepare their space, their physical space. Remember, we're working with home. We're not working from home. We're not gathering from home. We're gathering with home. So making the space, the corner, the wherever they are going to be together, ready for it, with blankets, with cushions, with candles, with whatever feels right to them, is really important. So they don't show up without understanding that they're showing up in a space that needs to hold them. Yes. So families gather on Zoom. There are these squares, these windows that bring all the families together, and the leader welcomes everybody. They might be welcoming them to a larger experience where the healing moment is. But what it's important is to not announce the experiences, but frame them as a storyteller would do it. So it's not about, okay, so now we're going to start with our healing moment because this is our healing moment. That removes the magic from it. But maybe say, yesterday I wasn't feeling very well and I needed to feel better. I was feeling under the weather. Has it happened to you lately? Because I was thinking how important it was going to be that I was meeting with you today. Knowing that I was meeting with you brought so much joy, even when I was hurting. So I'm putting now this brackets, okay, or parenthesis. When you start a program, when you start an experience, story starts. You're starting a story that everybody is a part of. So families gather. And maybe all families and each family has created their own talking stick. So it would be beautiful if, as the first part of the experience is about showing, show and tell what your talking stick represents, who did it. And if everybody in the family did one, how about sharing their talking sticks and a few words about why they put a hams and why a bell and why a feather and why not and why they painted this color and why they didn't, whatever. It really depends on the amount of people you have with you. So sharing their talking sticks is a story that you can all share. You set up the tone of it, maybe with a song, maybe with an opening song that is not about healing, but that is about opening our hearts. We're entering this moment not with sadness, but with hope. This is not a sad moment. A healing moment doesn't mean we're going to be sad forever. We might enter sadness and leave sadness, but please don't bring a somber environment to a healing moment. Okay, something else. When you are together, give a chance to families, for families to maybe put the puzzle together. They can mute themselves. They can have their own ceremony that you will design in a way for them, if you would like for them to share, among themselves what they're hurting. Hurt is not for kids. Hurt is very tangible. And it's very important that they can talk about it. If they're hurting because their brother hit them, or their mother didn't make them the food that they wanted, or the father didn't do it, or anything, or there's a friend, or they're missing. This is a time where our emotional life has been shaken. The world has been disrupted, and we are all disrupted. So little things that might have not been as important before COVID might be even more important in this time. So having them pass their talking stick and talking about them. And these families are all online, they're muted. And then another thing that they can do, and that you can do together with them, is when you bring them together within this ceremony, is to invite people to go and look for a percussive instrument that they have at home or that they can make it at home, but not to construct. Like, go for a pot, go for the floor. Just bring something that you can bang on. I always think about prayer as words that can be embodied, that words that connect our mind with our heart, with our soul, with our bodies. So kids are an amazing pretext for us to reconnect with our bodies when we pray. So drums, drum circles. Why drum circles are so healing? Yesterday, I heard from the participants that were live with me and with each other, they were talking about so many imagery that comes from having a percussive instrument with banging. I heard that it reminds of a heartbeat. Um, this whole idea of a sound that doesn't have words, So we're going to drum circle with them, and we can bring them back from that personal moment to pray together, but to drum together as well. The more we use our bodies, the more we open up. Think about it. It might make sense. So one way of doing, a drum circle, interactive one, is they could be muted, or, I would say that with kids and everything, keep them muted. But you can, as you speak, without giving instructions, you're not going to say, and now we're going to drum. Don't do that. Start. And people will follow. And as you drum, you invite everybody to get their drums. Can you show me your drum or your shake or your castañuela? Whatever. And you keep doing a beat. And what you can do, for example, is, okay, everybody, let's drum. But when Karina or when I stop drumming, put your drums up in the air. Let's keep drumming. So there's kind of a freeze dance thing that you could do with them to get them along. Next time, when we stop drumming, I want you to hug your family. Go, hug your family. Leave your drums on the floor and hug them. So this could be a good transition to go from being together and talking about, people that they love, to coming together to pray. Of course, you can even include a prayer to the drums. For example, the El Narefanala, one of them, I'm thinking about Debbie Friedman's. El Narefanala, El Narefanala, El Narefanala. It could also be the Bye Bye Yakis. Bye Bye Yakis, go away. Don't come back any other, like anything with the drums. Use the drums. It will relax everybody. Another thing that you can do while drumming is ask different families at times to unmute themselves and be the ones who are leading in the drumming. So they are the ones that are heard. The other ones are drumming along. And this is another way of bringing people together. You can even say, next time when we stop drumming, I want you to hide behind your instruments. Go! This is not being silly. This is being present. And every tool that we do for engaging them to be in the moment brings deepness. Is that a word? Makes it deeper. So we are now together in that ceremony and we pray, and you can sing the Misheberach. I'm going to share with you a song that I composed yesterday called The Healing Hope. Maybe you want to use it, but there's so many composers and so many versions of this beautiful, beautiful prayer that you can use. Another practice that you could do with the families online that could replace or not replace the drumming, it could be combined, it's called hurt sculptures. What does that mean? How does that look? So you invite families to stand farther from the camera, all together, right? And one at each time is going to go into a position of hurt. For example, and you can do it first with everybody at the same time. Okay, so everybody that is here today, let's go into a position of hurt and we freeze, okay? So let's imagine, let's go, let's try it. Don't think much, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try another one again, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it's time for everybody in your family to do it in order, whatever order you choose. So one at a time is going to go into a herding position and stays there. And then slowly, slowly, the rest of the family members are going to help unstuck you from that hurt by holding your hands, by holding your head, by caressing you, by holding you, by hugging you. So each person in the family at a time is going to go into a hurt position. And then the family, bit by bit, not like trying to fix or get rid. We cannot get rid of pain like that. It takes time, and sometimes like a subtle hug can make it, but not like getting rid of it. That could be also an experience and a practice that families could do in a non-verbal communication. You can choose to do all of them or one, and expand them. I'm just giving you some brief ideas, or ideas in a brief way. Another thing that I would like to encourage you, I love puppets. And talking about storytelling and puppets, in your storytelling time or introduction or to say goodbye to people, you could use a puppet to be your partner. Yes, this is Coco the sloth. He's my friend, and he knows that for taking care of himself and myself, he needs to wear a mask. And so do I, but now because I'm talking with you, I can't. But he's wearing a mask. Coco, do you want to say hi? How important it is, Coco, that we're wearing masks. Do you want to get close to people? You know what, Coco? You can get a little close, but not that close because, well, we're on Zoom, so you can go very close. So playing with a puppet also creates more humanity in yourself. If you are by yourself, you're not with your family doing this, he can be a partner with you. Thank you, Coco. Yes, you can rest. Puppets, drums, puzzles, talking sticks, anything that empowers people to open up are welcome. So we spoke about the before, we spoke about the healing moment in itself. Now we're going to talk about the after. The after that I'm imagining is a release celebration. It's a celebration where people could dance, could not dance, could hug themselves, but a way of saying, we can go into sadness, we can go into healing, we can go into the pain that we hold, that others hold, but then we can also get out of it. Get out of it doesn't mean not facing anymore, denying, means celebrating that we've been together. I think that it's so important to celebrate with your communities as well as to co-create with them, because otherwise everything gets stuck in a way with a color that cannot be carried after the experience. So a healing moment doesn't have to be a sad moment. Can be a moment where we can listen to each other. Teenagers or middle school kids might not find themselves engaged through song or, I don't know, through a puppet or through a talking stick, but they want to be heard. So finding ways where you can listen to each other might be the best gift you can give them and you can give yourself. A healing moment for everybody is very important. And now to end, I asked you to bring Band-Aids or whatever brand you have. And the idea of a Band-Aid is to also find a physical way to talk about wounds, because some wounds we don't see and they're there. So I would like, and this is something also that you can do with the families, you know, to bring Band-Aids and to ask families, and I'm going to ask you too, if a Band-Aid could heal not only a wound that happens in your skin, but in your soul, how would you use it? What would you say about it? Where would you put it? So I'm going to share some ideas that I heard yesterday. One was that the Band-Aid is flexible and that we are flexible and we can feel things and get out of things, and we are kind of a Band-Aid, flexible. Another thing that I heard was that Band-Aids are not the only thing that can heal our wounds. Sometimes we don't need to put a Band-Aid. It's better even not to have a Band-Aid on a wound. So it's better to leave it out, like out in the air or whatever, you know what I mean. I also came up with a Band-Aid in my heart. Band-Aid in my heart because I'm hurting for all the pain that I see in the world, and or because I'm hurt because my neighbor's dog died, or because I hurt that that a toy of my toy broke, or anything. What are you thinking about? Yes. One of the participants yesterday brought up that this looks, well, not in this t-shirt that is kind of the same color, but it looks like a kriya, right? When somebody dies and you tear their garment, or you put a ribbon, this is saying, you know, I want you to ask me about my hurt. I want you to ask me about the person I lost. I want you to know and acknowledge that I'm not doing well, that I'm hurting. This is a sign. And this could be part of a ritual that families have. You know, when you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling sad, you can put a Band-Aid in your heart. So many things you can do to bring to the open the idea that hurting is okay. When we are alive, we enjoy, we are happy, we hurt, and we fix, and we repair, and we heal, but we cannot do it alone. So, thank you for being with me. I hope you can dance more than what you think you can dance, because this is going to take some time. This pandemic is not leaving us tomorrow. So we need to be well. We need to be healed. Thank you so much.